Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week we watched the September 8th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. Bret Hart takes on Vader in a no disqualification match. The Godwins take on the Headbangers. Max Mini takes on Pirata Morgan. Owen Hart takes on Goldust, and in our main event, we have a triple threat match between Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Savio Vega, and the Patriot.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay. So this is the fallout of Ground Zero, which I guess is a name that just doesn't really hold up after, hindsight. But, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's funny. This is like so terrible, but when it wasn't in New York, I was confused. And then I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Oh,
no,
right.
that hasn't
No,
happened yet.
no, that hasn't happened yet.
It's just a term that people use and not like the thing.
No, yeah, 100%. So of course we have to start this one off with a one of those picture recaps from the previous pay-per-view. As we know, this is 1997, so we're still doing the you can buy the pay-per-view if you missed it. So they're not going to show you
Mm,
any video clips.
right.
See, they can't do that nonsense today because immediately as it happens, it gets blasted all over social media. So there
So
is no
true.
there is no replay. But the episode itself starts with Sergeant Slaughter getting announced to come down to the ring for a little interview with Vince because Ground Zero was chaos.
Mm.
Yes,
I was gonna say I feel like because and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm just like in a place today, but I feel like the fallout was like I don't
it was
it felt
light
very.
fallout.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Because I was like, it was so insane, this pay-per-view, and I felt like the fallout was so minimal.
Yeah, I'm
Like at
curious
this
as
point.
to if that's because we have like essentially two pay-per-views like almost back to back. Because we have one night only on September 20th,
I love that name.
and then yeah, it's gonna take place in the UK, and then
The Ook.
on October 5th, this episode actually announced Bad Blood will be taking place. So I don't know. I feel like it's just because there's I feel like it's a short turnaround for like pay-per-views that need like different cards and
That's
like
very true. That's very
yes.
true.
So I feel like this felt like what were we building to? Like One Night Only or Bad Blood? Because it felt more like Bad Blood. In which case, I guess it makes sense that it wasn't that like over the top. Because if we're building to Bad Blood, then we have a month. If we're building
This is
to
tea.
One Night Only, we only have like 2 weeks. So
True. I wonder if they're like thinking viewership won't be as intense for one night only, but because it's in the UK, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, and even then, I feel like it's not um like one of those pay-per-views that's like gets brought up a ton after the
Hmm.
fact. Whereas Bad Blood for sure does for a few
Well,
reasons. So,
yeah, I'm
uh
psyched for that one. Bad double D.
bad
Blood.
bad da da
Bad da
blood.
da.
Blood. The videos that
Had to
shaped
do it.
me.
You had to do it.
So Commissioner Slaughter is basically asked about like his 2 cents on Ground Zero, and basically he's like, things have gotten completely out of hand. Uncontrollable chaos is what he described the evening as, and says essentially that there will be law and order, whether the wrestlers like it, whether the officials like it, or whether the fans like it. And you're like, Shh, all right, seems a bit
I just think That's a lot of that's big talk for someone who already flopped keeping order on their very first pay-per-view on the job.
Right. That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying.
mean? Like, I'm not trying
Right.
to come for Kamishi Slaughter, but I'm like, that was your first night, first time on the job, and like maybe you're still getting your sea legs as the commissioner, but like that's some big words for
Big, big words.
you were in charge last night and you're saying it was the most chaotic event you've ever seen.
Right.
So
Right.
is this an apology? Like, I don't, okay,
I don't know. It's yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. For someone who's like throwing their weight around the first couple weeks, I'm feeling like some weight probably could have been thrown around while like nine referees got knocked out.
I'm
So
feels
like
like, am I crazy? I know we like I feel like we just watched this and I don't really remember him even being very present at this pay-per-view, or did I just black out and
no,
forget?
honestly, accurate. I feel like
The
he
committee
wasn't
wasn't
there.
commissioning.
So then he goes on to address Stone Cold following that, and he's like, you're still injured. You still are suspended, and you
So
will be
funny.
suspended until I get a doctor's note clearing you to compete. Which is, by all like professional standards, what he
It's
should be doing.
normal. Yeah. Hmm.
But to go to show, to further prove your point, someone who has absolutely no respect for this man's authority, is Stone Cold Steve Austin, because he comes
Yeah.
out and he's immediately just like, um, yeah, he immediately comes in and is just like, I don't care about anything that you have to say whatsoever.
Yeah.
He says what we just kind of recapped is like it's real cute that you think like you're in charge and you think that anything you say has any bearing over my actions. That's really
So
adorable.
silly. I love that for you, but that's not the truth.
Yeah, so it's also announced during this whole little like segment that there's going to be a Intercontinental Championship tournament because Stone Cold, of course, has a broken neck
Mm,
and will be forced to relinquish the title. Not only that, Sergeant Slaughter goes like a step further and is like, actually, I want you there on October 5th so that you can be the one to present the title, which to me just seems like just kind of pointed. You know what I mean? Like just kind of
I like
like
it feels like a punishment.
right. And it's just like maybe that's the case because Stone Cold definitely like disrespected the hell out of him, throwing the tag team championship on the floor and
And
telling
making
him
him
to
pick it
drop
up.
and pick like and give Stone Cold 20. Um, so maybe this was him trying to get his like sweet, sweet revenge. But it just didn't work out that way.
No,
Um,
I love this storyline of like we're all trying to do what's best for Stone Cold and have him go back to health and like wrestle again and be well. And Stone Cold's like, no, you. And
no,
like
fully.
and everyone's like, woohoo! And everyone's
No,
like, he'll die.
no, literally. And Austin's just like, I'll break all your little laws. And he's like, you keep talking about order this, order that. He's like, the only thing you've been ordering is cheeseburgers from the looks of it. And you're like, oh, okay. Coming for the jugular. Love to see it.
Oh,
Um,
fierce.
and then he says, the only thing I'm going to deliver in regards to the Intercontinental Championship is a can of whoop ass to your front door and see how you like that. And then he proceeds to stun the commissioner. Uh,
Crazy.
and then he gets in Vince's face, which I love because Vince is obviously
The
like, what are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? And then there's just like this moment where Vince realizes like he's in danger. Where like the
he's like,
look all of a sudden he goes from like the like scolding boss to like scared man. And you're just like, oh. And he kind of like escapes out the ring ropes like behind him, just kind of like snicks at the backside, and he's like, no, I don't want any part of that. He goes like he's going to go back on commentary. Steve Austin cuts him off at the pass, jumps on commentary. He's like, actually, no, I'll do your little job. You can go to the back. You just go ahead.
This was so
And
crazy.
of course, then all of the officials come around and like surround him. They're like trying to get him off. He's like, I'll go, fine. And yeah, not before Stone Cold celebrating all over the arena before making his grand exit.
So
I
crazy.
love this. I love that like that he is just the like anti-authority figure, regardless of what the authority is.
Yeah.
Like, he
No,
just
there's no, it's just whoever has an ounce of authority is like a heat-seeking missile.
yeah, he
He's like
like right. No, fully. And I love that
obsessed.
that like they will come out and try their best to just be like, no, like we need order. And he just comes out and immediately disregards all of that. Like all of it.
I love this because it to me is like, and this is such an overreach or whatever, but to me it's just like the reminder that we as humans have free will.
Right.
And we like sometimes get lost in the minutia of like what it is to be like a good human in society or whatever. And then like something comes out and is like, we have free will and you can actually just do whatever the hell you want.
No,
And I
actually.
just love that because like for again, for all intents and purposes, like they're putting these rules in place for his protection. And he's like, but it's not your job to protect me. I don't care.
Right. He said, who
It's
asked you to
so
do that?
it's really interesting because you can really go so deep with it. And I know it's like not that, but it's
Hmm.
like you really could, if you wanted to, like, in this essay, I will explain the 5 reasons of like why this is about
Right.
bodily autonomy. Like, you could
Right.
definitely do this. Like, college students, I don't know, use this, like,
Right.
and just
100%.
shock your professors or something. Because there's something here you could really, like, run
No,
away with.
100%. The way I used to write like essays in college about legalization of weed while so high is just so funny. So, I
No,
mean,
period.
listen, to you take what you got and you run with it. And
As long as you write and like make it a sleigh, like what are they gonna do? It's like I did the assignment. You didn't say what I had to do it on.
once I started one of the essays with I created like an opening scene of like you're like chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, And the police like show up. I created like a whole scene and then I go into like why this is like not okay.
I'm obsessed with that, and if you ever find it, I want to read it.
Oh, it's probably in the depths of my like old laptop. But yeah, if I
Obsessed.
dig it up, I'll definitely send it your
That
way.
was There was one time I was in a poetry class, whatever. But we had to do like write a poem about like something that meant was something important to us or whatever. And Xavier and I were just talking about how we have problems being vulnerable. And so I wrote an entire like full length long ass poem about beer.
Love that.
And
Love
everyone
that.
talked about like their moms and like
Right. No,
their
fully.
and it rhymed the whole time. So it was very like Cat in the Hat, but it was about drinking.
I love poems that rhyme. Um, I
Love a
actually,
serve.
I actually will. This is so nerdy. I will sometimes try and write poems in like couplets and like triplet
Cute.
like as if I'm like Shakespeare or something.
Love. Obsessed.
I just like when things rhyme and like they sound like it's like a finished thought. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes
Yep.
I'd be reading poetry and that's the whole point is to be thought provoking. But sometimes I read it, I'm just like, but it didn't end nicely.
Right. It didn't make my brain click. Like, I don't
No,
know.
yeah, it didn't like sandblast the crevices like it should.
Swear. And that is the goal for me every day is to find something that makes me sandblast the crevices.
Yo, facts.
It's getting so
So
dark.
so that takes us into our first contest, which is Bret Hart versus Vader, no disqualification. I was a little confused how we got here because we don't watch like Friday night whatever. So for apparently
Yeah.
they've been beefing for the last 2 weeks on
Had no idea.
yeah, Friday night's main event. And of course there's been like involvement from the Hart Foundation, which is how we ended up in this no disqualification match. But again, very confused. I was like, oh,
Well, because even I feel like I don't know if it was the pay-per-view or like the Raw before that, but Vader came out to like defend the Patriot, and I was like, why does he care? Like, I don't understand why
Right,
he's here. And I was like, oh, because he was beefing with now it all the pieces came together because he
right,
was beefing with Bret and he actually came out to shit on Bret.
right.
I was like,
Um, it was
oh,
also announced that at Bad Blood, Bret Hart and the British Bulldog will be tag teaming, which is not the usual combo, with against Vader and the Patriot in a tag team flag match. See how that
I
goes.
I do love a flag match, I'm not gonna lie. I
Oh
don't know why
yeah,
I thought that was so fun. Like it's very capture the flag
right.
silly. I'm into
Um,
it.
oh no, I love a
Owen must be doing something else, like defending
well,
a title or something.
Owen's in the tournament right now for the
He's
Intercontinental
in
Championship.
tournament.
So
That makes
if he
sense.
makes it to the final, then he will be busy that night, because the culmination of the Intercontinental Championship tournament will take place on October 5th at Bad Blood. So,
Heard.
before the match begins, we get a little promo from our WWF champion, and no surprise, he's shitting on America. America,
Mm.
the land of disgraced heroes. And then he goes on to call Vader a big fat human excrement. Gross.
The word excrement just always really paints a picture.
No, oh, fully, 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 fully. And yeah, nothing like I'm gonna fight a 400-pound man, and before I do that, I'm just gonna royally piss him off.
They love to do that.
Really, really do.
They love to do that.
So the match kicks off. Vader like barely makes it into the ring, and Bret Hart is just wailing on his head with the title. Um, we're gonna go through highlights. So Vader at one point snaps the Canadian flag in half. Love to see it.
Hmm.
Um, I have a couple like feats of strength from Bret Hart, which I just like he's not known for, so I feel like he just doesn't
Yeah.
get enough credit. At one point he like reverses Vader from getting Irish whipped into the ring steps and ends up throwing Vader into the ring steps, and like of course Vader's a giant boulder just hitting another giant boulder essentially.
Yeah.
So
And the
that
steps
was
like just
great.
disintegrate. They just
No,
fall
yeah,
apart.
I love when they just like explode. Um,
Yeah.
During that little hubbubaloo, the bulldog shows up. He's just kind of like at first just keeping his distance, just kind of watching.
Serving.
Um, and Bret Hart suplexes Vader. I have noticed this is very impressive, very good.
Crazy. And it was beautiful.
Right.
It wasn't chunky. It was so smooth. It was so
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive.
The Bulldog tries to interfere, gets smacked by Vader for his trouble, but eventually the numbers game, of course, catches up to Vader. The Patriot comes out to defend his tag team partner, and of course, we know that the Patriot and Bret Hart just had a WWF title match the night before.
Hmm.
So all the girlies are feuding. And then Owen comes out and joins the fray. Bret Hart grabs a chair while Owen is making his presence known and starts going to town. He just starts hitting
Mm.
everybody. Um, that is when Austin then comes back out because he's not leaving. He doesn't care about your suspension, Sergeant Slaughter. Suspend
Yeah.
who? No.
Like suspend what?
He said, "You better suspend your disbelief if you think I'm going anywhere. That's crazy.
Oh
Like,
my
that's
God.
nuts." Um, and Austin essentially chases them all out. And then the match is just called. The match is just called because the Hart Foundation it just ran
Leaves.
away.
Yeah. It's so
Um,
silly. Okay, I know I'm beating a dead horse and I'm so sorry. I just can't help the way I feel, you guys. And I want to talk to more people about this and how they felt in the moment. I wrote a note like I just hate watching Brett continue to get beat up for the sake of being a heel. And like, because for me, he just never went over as a heel for me. I know he's over as a heel for everybody else, like, because they really
right.
hate him. I just like
I
every time I watch this, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right to me. It just feels so like
forced.
yes, like I just like feels like as if Bret did something wrong and they're punishing him and he
Right.
has to like do this like shtick and it just feels so inauthentic. And I know I've been saying this for literally like 6 weeks and I'm so sorry. I just like, for me, it never hits. Like, it never
Mm-hmm.
means anything to me at all. Like, not
Heard.
at all, but it's like, it just, every time I watch it, I'm like, I just hate this. I hate it
Right.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. I wish I felt differently. I wish I was like more like Bret Hart as a heel is such a serve. It's just not for me.
Yeah, but it's also because they're still riding that like it's because Canada's better thing. And it's like that's not a good enough reason to be to be the top heel in a company.
Yeah. Oh, it's so random. I just realized we didn't introduce ourselves this week. Because I was gonna say, like,
Oh.
I know that I'm new here and I whatever, and I was like, oh, we didn't do that. Anyway, I'm Kelsey, that's Xavier. And but if you're if you're not new here, you know that there was like at least like 6 weeks ago now, I went on this like tangent about how I thought like there was a whole other heel avenue Brett could have taken that would have been such a slay, and
Right.
somehow we're here. But every time I watch it, I'm like, and we'll get into later when Savio Vega's on commentary and what he says about the Patriot, which I think is so funny. And I was like, he's saying what we're all thinking.
Mm,
But I just like, for me, I'm just like, what are we doing?
right.
Like, what are we doing?
I honestly don't know. Uh
Sorry. And I know the end is nigh, but
yeah. Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
feeling very the end is like it's starting to feel of like, okay, everyone is like just unhappy and like, what are we doing? I know that's
Right.
not the case, but
Mm-hmm,
whatever.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of changes is gonna happen in the next like 2 months in the WWF. But
Crazy.
as they come. So next we get a recap as to how the Headbangers became the new WWF Tag Team Champions. Love to
Love.
see it with the help of
Love.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Fatal 4-Way Elimination match. Um, we see their celebration in the crowd. We see their celebration with the hot dogs. Love to see it. They are scheduled to have a match, and we get cut out back to the ring where assuming going to get introduced to their opponents when the Godwins are just in the ring already, just beat up what I assume are like enhancement talent that were going to come out.
Yeah.
Just they were never introduced, barely seen. The Godwins grabbed the mic and essentially challenged the Headbangers for a match now. They were just like there's no reason you won the way that you won. There's even though they weren't even like the last tag team like eliminated.
Yeah, like I don't know. The Godwins just like I feel like they're looking for beef with anybody. They're
No,
like if
fully.
they're like who is having a barbecue? I want a beef patty. Like what? I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. So
And I
so
kind of I respect wanting to throw hands, but I just feel like find a worthy opponent. I don't know.
right, right,
Somebody
right.
we act, you know. Yeah.
So of course the Godwins have the upper hand because they're already in the ring. By the time the Headbangers come out, they start the match, pretty much just attacking them from the jump. Jerry makes a comment about the Headbangers like wearing dresses and like, is that really something we want to be like representative of the WWF? And JR, without missing a beat, goes, yeah, it's almost as silly as a grown man wearing a crown, right? Like, and I love that he reads Jerry every week at this point.
So
It's
he's really getting so good because there were moments where he was really taking hits and then suddenly it's like he got big enough to hit back.
right.
And the way he delivered it was like, yeah, I know it's so strange. It's almost like as if a grown man wore a crown. Oh, you know anybody like that, Jerry? Like he was so
So
like
good.
it was almost like I want to say like powdery or
Mm.
something. Like so like I don't know.
That made me think of white chicks, where it's like your mama's so old, like her breast milk goes
Yes.
powder.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what it felt like.
period.
Jerry got egg on his face now. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
that was great.
He's
Um,
really been coming for blood. It's
I
delightful.
know. I love to see it. Like I love when like not that when people have like a bitterness that they let out, you know? I love it. I live
And when
for
the
that.
bitterness makes your reads crafty and
Mm,
smart and like also funny,
right.
nothing better, in
No,
my
truly
opinion.
nothing. It's really what I strive for at all times.
Always
Uh,
the goal.
really. This one's a quick match, because someone it's so funny. The commentary was like, "Is that a fan?" I was like, "A fan in the matching overalls to the Godwins?" Sure.
And the Confederate soldier hat, like that.
Right.
You guys know what I'm talking about. That hat. I was
Crazy.
like, and they're like, "Oh no, a fan got it." Girl, a fan of the Godwins, as
Yes.
in
As in a relative.
related.
So, um, he helps the Godwins pick up a victory over the tag team champions, which should mean that we should have a tag team championship match between the two coming up.
Yeah.
Um, and then he gets introduced to us as Uncle Cletus. Uncle Cletus. Uncle
Girl,
Cletus Godwin.
we traded in Hillbilly Jim for Uncle Cletus. I will not go quietly into the night over
I
this.
have a note. My last note on this match just says, "I want Hillbilly Jim, though."
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you. I'm sick of this. I'm
uh,
so upset.
I'm very
Uncle
ex
Cletus.
I'm actually excited for when we get closer to the WWE bringing back Saturday night's main event. We'll do an after dark with some main event like matches, and you'll get to see Hillbilly Jim like as a wrestler.
I
Uh,
would love that.
right.
I would love that. I also there was a moment where Uncle Cletus forgot who he was, like that his name was Uncle Cletus,
Fully.
because he went to go do they're like, who is this? And they're like, this is our Uncle Cletus, la la la. And he goes, I something he went to say something like, because when Uncle Cletus like is in town, like I got the whatever, but he went, because you know when Uncle's in town. Like he literally
Right.
fully forgot his name.
Right.
What
I
his
was like,
name
they just
was.
gave you this name. Like
He
you
just
just
said
got it.
it. You just write it on your hand, I guess. So could you imagine he was like Uncle Cletus?
I would die. I would actually kind of love that, not gonna
Actually,
lie.
that would be funny. That would be part of his character where he's just like a little stupid.
Mm. I'm
He'd be
here
like,
for that.
Uncle Cletus.
Right.
That's funny.
Love to see that.
But oh, girl.
So next we are supposed to have a Intercontinental Championship tournament match between Dude Love and Brian Pillman. We get a recap of the Pillman versus Goldust match, the Indecent Proposal match. I just listen to the last week's episode and you can hear all of
The
our
Pillman
thoughts.
incident.
Um, literally. And you'll hear more it shortly. But Sonny comes out as the special guest ring announcer, looking like $1 million. Looking
She
like a
has
million
been
bucks.
serving. I feel like the pressure of not managing, she's just focusing all on her outfit choices, and I'm okay with it at this point.
Yeah,
She was wearing like a fuzzy green brat top
so
and like
good.
shiny, like almost gunmetal-y, bronzy,
Mm-hmm.
silver bell-bottom pants. It was such
So
a
good.
serve for no reason, and that is the only way I want it.
No, fully. And Grant, like, she was out for 3.5 minutes, like,
Three
max.
and a half minutes, and she said, and you're gonna remember this, and I
No,
will.
and
I'm
I
gonna
will.
Google this top later. Like I need one
Oh,
of these.
yes. You
So
get one of those,
good.
it's game over for these
It's
bitches.
honestly, it's really is, and I'm sorry. And
No,
rest in peace to all of you. But if I had a fuzzy green brat top, you'll be
yo, so
sick
true,
of
so
me.
true.
But
Uh,
she also had like a little dance party with Dude Love when
I
she
know.
introduced him.
So
I was
fun.
so here for
It was
this.
very cute. So much so that he like lifts her up and spins. I was like, this is great. This is a
They had a
time.
whole thing going. I was so obsessed with this, and honestly, I was like, I respect her for like helping sell the image of who Dude Love is. Because she
Right,
didn't have to do that. Because normally she's always like disgusted by everyone who isn't just hot. And
right.
I get that. But she like was like, "Ah, there's just like something about him. Like she sold
Right.
the character. And I
Mm-hmm.
respect the fuck out of that. I really
Right.
respect that so much. And to have that little moment, love.
Mm-hmm. And it's really like all of those like little things with Dude Love. Like it's not like Dude Love
Yes.
himself is that like it's just a it's just a hippie, really.
I
Uh,
know, but
but
the
it's
character building they're doing with those little things and then who he brings out, I feel
right.
like speaks so much to his character
Hmm.
without even wrestling. And that's what I like. I love
Right.
when that kind of stuff happens.
Agreed. So Dude Love gives us a little promo. He's like, having a little trouble getting into the groove, and you're like, oh God. But he says, that because Pillman and the Heart Foundation is always getting some kind of entanglement, he's like, I'm gonna have somebody come out and watch my back. They're just going to be a spectator. And then it is announced that it's Goldust. Very
So crazy.
wild.
But to me, gives like Dude Love does not abide by like the theft of a woman. Like
No.
it's giving women's rights. Like I don't know. Like, do you know
No,
what I mean?
no, no.
Like
He's very much so like he's like, no, they come with me because they want to. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is, but I'm telling you, there's another way. It's not
Right.
that. And I'm gonna let Goldust come out here and be my friend so that he can check up on his wife.
Yeah.
Love. Man of
Wild.
the hour.
And Goldust comes out with a little half face paint job today. It's actually very similar to what he does now, like today.
Mm.
He does the like half face paint thing. It's not Goldust per se, but it's something like similar. He wrestles under just his name now.
Mm.
So we're all waiting for Brian Pillman. We're like, okay, like what's going on? Ring, 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 ring. It's been a minute since we got one of these calls.
Oh.
Brian Pillman calls. Mind you, he's in town. They're in Cincinnati. He lives in Cincinnati.
He was like, I'm at my house, and they're in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Though I also want to say, I wonder if this was just a recording because there wasn't any back and forth, and I think that made it better. Like it almost sounded like he just recorded the audio and they made it sound
Mm.
like he was on the phone because there was no back and forth responding or
Oh, I
whatever.
guess that tracks. Yeah.
And I feel like it made it better because there wasn't any of the what, wait, what,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
stop start.
I hate that. Hate that.
Same.
Hate that. But yeah, so Pillman calls in. He's like, I'm exhausted from last night. And then he goes on to show us, he's like, I want to show you a little video, a little sneak peek at what happened. And he's like, he calls them Brian Pillman's X-Files. This is part one. First of all, he's wearing a teeny tiny towel and smoking a cigar, and he's laying in bed, and basically it's just 5 minutes of him alluding to banging Marlena.
Oh,
Um, he goes on to say, like, I thought she was spunky. Turns out she's a machine, an animal. And then he drops the towel, crazy, and he's got, just tiny Calvin Kleins on. And he goes, at one point he says, and which is crazy because they bleep it out. They're like, she fucks real good, and you're like,
girl. While he's smelling like her clothes.
fully,
So,
fully
this was so
creepy,
creepy.
so creepy. And then his like kind of parting shot is nothing comes between me and my Calvins except your wife.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Which honestly kind of served. That's
Kind of
like
absurd. No, as
kind
I
of I'm
hate that
sorry.
everything else going on, but that line is like the jugular. That is it's
Kill
uh,
shot.
it's clever. It fits the like could not fit the moment more. It was good.
And
I
he was wearing Calvins. If he was wearing any run of the mill, I would have been pissed off. But
right.
the attention to detail, nothing comes between me and my Calvins except your wife.
Crazy.
Fatality. Like that, you are dead. That's crazy. And
Yes.
like the whole thing disturbed me so much. Like I kept saying, like, this is so disgusting, this is horrible, this is whatever. And then he said that, and I was like, oh damn. That's like, damn
Yeah.
it. I liked that. That pissed me off. But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I okay, I just want to say there is a plot hole though. Cause isn't he's because he had said Dakota was his. So haven't y'all done the do before?
Right.
So you're saying like I didn't know what she was like in bed. Okay, so
Not the
Dakota's not
father?
your kid then. You're not the father then. Like I don't know. Like I was like, okay.
Where's
But
Jared? Or where's Maury when you need him?
Maury, swear.
Uh
But like this is so disturbing and I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't.
yeah, it's weird. It's a definitely a choice that was
Brian
made.
Pillman's the only person, well, at least I think at this time, he's the only person who could pull this
This
off,
off.
like this level of psychosis.
Right. Right. No,
So,
I fully agree. I feel like if anybody else were to do it, it would just be like immediate prison.
jail.
Jail. As
Yeah,
realistically,
it should, but
it should be, but here we are. Um, so next we have a minis match. So we have Max Mini taking on. Okay, so they said his name wrong the entire time. The
right?
other wrestler. It's so Pirata in Spanish is pirate.
Yeah,
But his name is actually Piratita. Like it means like small
little
pirate.
pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like so yeah, they just kept saying it wrong the whole time, and I was like, all right, here we go. Um,
Mm,
this is another mini match. It was, again, Jerry on commentary is Jerry on commentary, heinous beast. Max Mini
mm.
is absolutely and crazy.
Yep.
Um, uh, Piratita misses a moonsault, which was also nuts. Did a lot of pandering to the crowd, which becomes a glaring hole when the audience doesn't know you. Like
Right.
when you're
Yeah.
calling for a response and they don't know what the response is, partially because they don't know you, the wrestler, and partially because they don't speak Spanish. Stop
Yeah.
trying. He went
I
for it like three
know.
times, and I was like,
Yeah. And the
"Sir,
first time some woman from the crowd screamed, speak English, which
hate that,
bad. Hate, literally
hate
just
that."
flipped my mic cord. Bad. Hate that. But like if that's a response you get from the rip, maybe
Yeah.
let's not try it again. Because wrong place because they clearly are not with
Mm.
it.
No, no, fully not. Max Mini picks up the victory with a crucifix pinning combo. Love to see it.
Yeah. Love that
So
guy.
he's 2 for 2 so far. Because he is just a little stick of dynamite.
He's a little
Um,
spitfire.
for real. But that leads us into a very exciting announcement for Bad Blood because it is announced that for the first time ever in the WWF, we will have a Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The Hell in a Cell is designed so that nobody can enter and nobody can leave. It is not like your
Obsessed.
regular steel cage match. There is no escape the cage. So love to see it. Very
Baby's
exciting.
first Hell in a Cell.
And this match is fantastic.
It must be.
Fantastic. It's
I'm so
great. The parties
excited.
involved, great. It's a phenomenal match.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
so yeah, love to see it. And it becomes this match they do so well in it like one they do it again, but it becomes like a actual like pay-per-view. Like there is a Hell
Yes,
in a
I did
Cell
know that.
pay-per-view that happens every year. So
Hmm.
this is like one of those matches that will like that essentially like changes the trajectory of things because um it just puts it on a larger scale. We're like upgrading.
Mm.
She said steel cage but make it bigger. Like so
Yeah. Oh my, it gets juiced up. I know, I can't wait.
I
And
very
and like this
excited.
is the first one in the
Ever.
show for WWE for me. Like
Right.
I'm so
No, we
excited.
did watch one. We did watch one when you were visiting, remember? We
Oh,
watched
that's right.
we watched CM Punk versus Drew
Oh,
McIntyre.
CM Punk. Can I say one thing about CM Punk that's
Yeah.
been on my spirit? He has such a slutty little waist. I think
Mm.
that's what I love about him. He's got that slutty
That's
little man waist.
that's not what I thought you were gonna say, but I completely agree.
Because I don't know why. I know nothing about CM Punk pretty much except that I think he's gorgeous. I know he's controversial in a lot of ways, though I don't know any. or
Of the
why.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know any of the tea, and that's fine with me because we'll maybe get there someday. But I was actually talking about this with your brother. I was like, what is it with CM Punk's like slutty little waist? Like, what is
Oh
that
my
about? And
God.
we were just like talking about it, and I was like, I just can't get over it. What is that?
I love that. That's so funny. And not a participant in that conversation, I would have thought.
Right? Yeah, sorry. I don't know why we were talking about that the other day, but yeah,
Love
oh
to
yeah,
see
we
it.
did. That was a great match.
So yeah, so this will be your second technically Hell in a Cell, but a first for the show and a first for the WWF. So we love to see it.
Love to see it.
So we hear from one of the participants of the Hell in a Cell match, The Undertaker. We love to
Mm,
see it. We love to see
Daddy.
it. He comes out, basically he says that Shawn Michaels and himself opened the gates of hell last night. And he does give Shawn Michaels a little credit. He goes, you looked death in the eye and never blinked.
Mm.
And then he's asked to address the Hell in a Cell, and he's like, it's designed so that nobody gets in, nobody gets out. Um, and he says, you can call it whatever you must, but I'm gonna call it the beginning of the end. Uh,
Mm.
look into the eyes of the Reaper and pay for your crimes. The music stops and the tolling of the bell begins. Why is this
Oh,
man just like straight reciting poetry?
it's getting
Crazy.
so Edgar Allan Poe. I'm obsessed. I will
No,
say I love this for Undertaker because I feel like he is not a person, especially ever since Paul Bear jumped ship as his manager. He never has anyone interfere on his behalf.
right,
Like he never has anybody like jump in, pass him the chair, blah blah blah. Like
right,
so this is nice for him because now he's like, now the playing field is finally even. I'm tired of getting hit over the head with chairs from unsuspecting allies and managers and brass knuckles over here in the pants and the whatever. Like
right.
even playing field. We are both in the cage. No one gets in or out until somebody is dead.
Love to see it.
And thank God.
And of course, the other participant in the Hell in a Cell match, Shawn Michaels, shows up on the Titantron. He interrupts. He's like, "Hey, I'm a survivor," which is
I'm
hilarious.
a survivor.
I was just like,
I
it
I love
cracked
him
me up.
because he always has this same energy of like, I get beat up so bad, but I still get up.
No,
He
fully.
has always said that. He's always like, I don't necessarily thrive, but I live.
But it's like, but he had like it. It's so brilliant because it's like if you look at Shawn Michaels comparatively to almost everybody,
Yes.
you think that's the scenario that's going to happen. It's like he wins because he's just that damn good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he can he calls himself on commentary later like a Timex or Rolex. He's like, I can take a licking and keep on
Keep on
ticking.
ticking.
And I was like, yeah, yeah, it tracks. That's kind of your thing, is your like unbelievable like stamina.
Yeah.
So basically Shawn Michaels goes, if I'm going down, you're coming down with me. And The Undertaker responds with, the only thing you have to be concerned about, Shawn, is resting in peace. So we love to see it.
I love
Uh,
the back and forth between the two of them.
There's so fantastic. I'm loving that we're getting a feud between the two.
I
Um,
know. Thank God.
Sunny gets, yeah, pulling double duty. She's interviewing today. So she is backstage with the Heart Foundation, and she asks Owen if he is concerned about Austin. And Owen's like, I crippled that guy. I'll do it again. Don't really care.
So
Uh,
funny. Which it's not funny, but it's also like
it's just the way that he said, yeah, he's just
that's
like,
your claim to fame right now and ride that train. I mean,
no, he
if
said, I did that, and I'll do it again.
yeah, we're the reason Stone Cold is out here stunning Stone Cold stunning the commissioner, JR, whatever, is because I broke his neck and he's suspended.
Correct.
I did that. I
Right.
would ride that train
He
straight to hell.
he said, I'm that bitch, and what of it?
Period. And what? I get
And
it.
yeah, fully. Um, and oh, and then he basically goes on to say, like, if you feel like showing up, again, I got backup. You know I got backup. So
Mm.
try it. Um, that leads us into our next match, which is a Intercontinental Championship tournament. Oh, qualifying match? Qualifying match. It's like
Hmm.
so it's Owen Hart taking on Goldust. Goldust runs in on Owen immediately. He's big pissed. You can feel the emotion coming out of Goldust. He's pissed about Pillman taking it out on Owen. He said, "You're his friend, right?" Got it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Transfer.
no, it's fully. It's like
He said,
the
Contr select all, paste.
no, fully. Right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um copy attributes. Um Owen never gets his jacket off.
Nope.
Never takes
He
off his jacket.
wrestles as a greaser the whole time.
No,
Obsessed.
love to see it.
Honestly, loved it.
Yeah, fantastic. Owen gets a low blow behind the referee's back on Goldust, and Goldust returns the favor just right in front of the referee. Just
Love.
right in front of the referee, gets disqualified. Actually, the referee lets him have one, and he's like,
Yes.
"Okay, like this is your
You got your
warning."
lick.
And then
Yeah.
he does it again, and he's like, "Oh, okay, now we're calling it. Now we're
Yeah.
calling it. Now we're calling it."
Which that was real as hell of the ref to be like,
Real as
okay, you
hell.
got your one. If you want to continue, then whatever. And he just went, no, I'll hit him again. And they're like,
Yeah.
all right, well, call it
Well,
then.
all right. Well, you've been warned.
Yep.
So of course the Heart Foundation jumps in like the pack of dogs that they are,
Mm.
attacking Goldust. Austin comes in through the crowd with a broom.
A broom.
A broom.
A
He said,
broom.
he said, "We're gonna
Like
sweep this up." Thank
said, I'm
you.
clean. I'm here to clean house. Literally.
Literally. That's literally clean house is the phrase I used in my notes.
Yep.
Um, and then he goes and like threatens McMahon with the broom, and I'm loving this teasing of McMahon Austin. I love it. I'm loving to see it. Let's go.
Because I
Um,
know that is a big, fat storyline.
it's huge. It
I
is
love to
arguably
see.
like the greatest rivalry in wrestling history. It
I know,
is
again, like one more Infinity Stone is like into the
be,
gauntlet.
because it is the ultimate like anti-establishment storyline. Like it
I
is
can't wait.
it is everybody that has a shitty boss and wants to be able to do those things to their boss lives vicariously through Stone Cold Steve Austin. And
It is such a
it's coming.
universally loved storyline because like that is so it doesn't matter what you've ever done with your life, like that is a
It's
relatable
so
storyline.
relatable. Yeah,
Yeah.
so relatable. So Goldust is still remaining in the ring. When our boy Brian Pillman, ring ring, hello.
Mm. Hello.
um, he calls and he's like, "You look like you could use some entertainment." And essentially, Pillman just takes us into the bathroom where it is alluded to, not that we see anything, that Terry is showering behind the curtain. And Pillman's like, she's getting ready for round two. And then he goes again with just, yeah, he just goes, "I hope you get some sleep tonight because I'm going to have a very hard time going to sleep." Uh, Gross.
So fast. And he wrote like he said that she wrote like I love you like in the fog of the shower, like on the mirror
I
or
was like,
whatever.
no, no, nothing like a.
Until I see her in real like physical form, like this is just
It's just as far as
outlandish to
I'm
say.
concerned, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's just Pillman in his hand in that hotel room. Like I don't
Swear to
until I
God.
have visuals.
Until I visual on the suspect, I don't believe it.
No, fully.
It's crazy. There's no way.
Because I'm way more likely to believe that Pillman's writing himself love notes on the shower wall than
Absolutely. No, period. I'm sure he does that just for fun
no, yeah,
every
absolutely.
day.
Yeah, it gets out of the shower. He's just like, "Love you, love you."
Yeah, and I can fully envision him like just destroying a hotel room and running the shower extra hot and then like setting the scene
Right.
and nobody's
Fully
there. Like she's
no.
asleep in the room next door or
Or
something.
like he fully believes someone's there. No one's
Oh,
there.
oh.
Maybe he's just got a bad case of the Delulu. I don't know.
Well, he definitely has that. It's just what flavor is he sampling today?
True, 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 true.
He's got
Very
that
true.
regardless.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. So then we catch up with the Hart Foundation backstage, and Bret Hart's like, when is anybody gonna do anything about Stone Cold? And like, kind of a fair question. Like,
I literally wrote that. I was like, he goes, "Is anyone gonna do anything about this guy?" And they were just like, "I don't think so." Like,
no,
and it
fully
is
not.
so true because Brett does like one out of pocket thing. We have a commissioner now. We have the law. Like we have all these people. And so Stone Cold comes out here and actually punches people in the face. Stone Cold Stunners with the broom, with the chair, with the
With
whatever.
reckless abandon.
Reckless
Reckless
abandon. And
abandon.
they're like, that guy.
No, literally. They're like,
Oh,
oh, Steve.
Steve.
You're like, no,
Steve is
that's
so
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, what a guy.
So yeah,
Crazy.
and he's just like, Austin is an animal. Like he is nothing more than an animal. Like why are we letting him do this? And it's just like, yeah, same. Yeah, I know, I get it.
It's honestly so fair, and I love that. Like when you have that moment of reality in the storyline, and you're like, why do we let him just do whatever he?
Right,
And it's obviously because people love him so much, but you're like, that does seem a little unfair to
right,
everybody else. But
right.
okay, I guess
And
we can
I
go for
know
that.
like I guess the like plot argument is that he's so uncontrollable, but it's just like you can call the police.
You can like actually fire him. But I know the
You-
gag is that they can't because he makes so much money for the company, and I know
Right,
that'll like be a thing, but
right.
like it was a fair question. I literally wrote the same thing. I was like, fair. That's fair.
Right. No, fully. So then we cut back to the arena. Savio Vega joins us on commentary because he's the king of the triple threat, aka he's won the only other triple threat match that we've had. So love to see it. I love Savi. This is great.
Oh, love that guy. Love that
Uh
guy.
so he comes out and so what did he say about the Patriot? What were you talking about?
Oh, he had said like, when he was like, he's inexperienced, so he's a loser. Like he was talking
Oh,
about how
so funny.
inexperienced he was, and he like doesn't really understand why he's here. And I was like, thank you,
Right.
Savio. And
Love
I
to see
said, I
it.
remember like we talked about it a couple weeks ago where I was like, I just feel like they must hate that guy in the locker room. Like he just came in out of nowhere and suddenly he's getting boom title shot. And
Right.
everyone's like, what?
Hello?
And
Right.
so he was like, I don't know, he's new here and he's inexperienced, so he's kind of a loser.
I love that. I love to see that. Um, so the Bulldog comes to make his entrance, and he gets jumped by Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and jumped hard he was.
Hard.
The they came out, they clipped him from behind, beat his ass down. China goes off and grabs a chair because apparently she's just like the chair gatherer at this point. It's her role this episode, that's for damn sure.
And she does it with skill. Like she's been rehearsing.
No,
Like
fully.
she's been like setting up and taking apart graduations in her spare time.
Wow. Wow, skilled.
Like
She's
she's like,
she's efficient at that point. So yeah, so then they like brutally attack the Bulldog's knee with the steel chair. We know that the Bulldog is taking on Shawn Michaels September 20th for the European Championship. So we're just trying to get a leg up. Nope. I guess pun
leg
intended.
down.
Yeah.
We're
um
trying to do this. Sorry, Scott Putski. We're trying to do Scott Putski with the patella in the thigh.
That was so
Oh, so
crazy.
crazy. I
Rip
can't
Scott
stop thinking
Putski.
about it. Rip,
I
rip in
mean,
peace.
I don't know where he is, today, but rip his knee, that's for damn sure.
Oh, that knee. My
Mm.
God.
So this match was clunky. I don't
I
know.
thank you so much. I literally wrote, I just feel like this is so chunky, is literally what I wrote.
Yeah, it just
We are so in sync
no,
tonight. We're
very
like
much so tonight.
basically the Twitches, whatever.
Whatever. Artemis and Apollo.
Is that their names? I already forgot.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like that's their like long name. They have like, fun names, but
Oh my God. Okay,
uh
memory.
love that, love that.
Love
So
that.
yeah, it's just like especially after having seen a like really good triple threat match like the night prior, it just feels like you went to the well one too many times, you know? Um,
Yes. Oh, so
I
true.
was like, oh, we have to do a triple threat match again? Like, we
Oh,
just
yeah.
did this.
Or it's like, when you eat a really good meal at a restaurant and you like, it's so good you just go back the next night, or you order from the same place 2 nights in a row because
And
we
it just
were just
isn't.
talking about this, and then there's just one day where it just doesn't hit the same anymore, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah.
like I rode that coattail. It felt the same. Like the meal was so delicious, and it's like we ordered the same thing the next night, and Chef B was working.
Mm.
Not as good.
I,
Not
I,
bad. Just
it's funny because that's the reason. Remember when, like, where I work now, when we first got those breakfast sandwiches, you're like, I'm scared to go back. And I was like, we're
I
going
know
back tomorrow. We're going
we
back
went back.
tomorrow.
And you know what? It's good every time.
It
It's good
is.
every time. I love them so much. Mwah. I love you guys so much. I mean,
Shout out
what
to
a
Monica
serve.
and B, my
Love
coworkers who
you.
be slamming
Which,
breakfast sandwiches in like Eastern PA, mind you, like breakfast sandwiches worthy of New York and Jersey. I'm saying it.
and I'll say
Worthy.
it too. And I'll say, I literally came home from that weekend and I was like, I said to Crystal, I was my roommate, I was like, I am so afraid to say this because I know that a demon might come through my window and kill me, but I think I might have had the best Taylor ham egg and cheese in Pennsylvania. And
Right.
I don't know what to do. I'm having an
Right.
existential crisis. I don't know how to feel, but
Truly.
I can't deny the truth.
But finding that was really a godsend because I was hurting for some Taylor ham. Like
Oh, I know
hurting.
you were, girl. I know
Oh,
you were.
yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, but
Don't get
love
me started
y'all.
on the pizza though. We still haven't figured that one out yet. But
Oh,
it's fine. Yeah, this match was chunky. It was just a lot of like honestly the best part of this match was Shawn Michaels on commentary, as it
as
does.
it does,
Um,
yeah. And even the fact that they put like I love Savio, the fact that they put him in again is like
Crazy. Like he was just there,
crazy.
like, and so we're like, okay, yeah, you're in this now, and you're like, sure.
And it makes sense because he's savvy with the hands and he loves to just fight. And
Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
respectfully, love that. But I was like, we're doing the same match the next night with 1/3 of the same people.
Right. Right, right. Feels very tired.
Yeah.
I love Shawn Michaels on commentary. He goes, I'm out here because who knows the rules better than me? Like, oh,
What I
so
love about
funny.
Shawn Michaels is that he did not let this whole he did a bad job refereeing slander get to him in the slightest because he knows that wasn't true. And I stand by that. I will still die on that
No,
hill.
he was a
Y'all are
great
crazy.
referee.
He was great. And the fact that he knows that, I was like, no, you can say what you want. I did my job and I'm gonna come out here because I know the rules. Like
Yeah,
that is
and
so
had he
funny.
not done his job, like he also would have had repercussions. So clearly he did it. So
And if you
right.
guys want to fight, that's fine. But just
Uh,
know I'm ready.
right. That's what I'm saying. I love favorite line of the night. Shawn Michaels goes to Vince McMahon. You go through life with that face? So serious. So
Oh my
serious. He
God,
goes, "You go through
violent.
life with that face?"
But even
And then he
like,
follows it up. He's like, "No wonder you need to be rich."
great girl,
Love to see it. I love
crazy.
to see
The
it.
That read is so crazy. And even the setup was like, he was like, "Why don't you get that look off your face?" He goes, "Oh God, that's just your face.
No,
You have to live
fully.
with that face."
So funny.
No wonder.
So
And then
funny.
the knife was in, and the twist was, "No wonder you have to be rich." So
Yeah.
it's like you already stabbed me, and then he went, mm.
Mm. It's like your money's to make up for that. Oh, it's
He
so
was like, he
good.
literally said like, "Oh yeah, you couldn't be broke and ugly. You have to pick one."
No, no, no. He's like, that's crazy.
I'm
Uh,
gonna like that's gonna haunt me, and it had nothing to do with me. I wasn't even there.
but I was just, you go through life with that face? So mean, so funny. Um, he being Shawn Michaels is asked how he thinks he's going to be received in the UK, and he's like, they're going to receive me with open arms. People love me. And you're just like, this is great. And then he basically goes on to just be like, he's like, I have talent and charisma. Is that not describing Shawn Michaels? And like in my head, as soon as he said that, I was like, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, you mean?
Oh my God. I have the
So good. I literally. Which is basically what he was saying. Um,
He was
so
really, I mean,
yeah, it
he
was
was one of the dolls tonight. He really was.
100%. Savi overselling all over this match. So,
Like, so to the point where I literally said it's what should be playing over this match is like do 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 because it
so
was just
ridiculous.
I was
Like,
at the circus, girl. We were
yeah,
just
man was shadowboxing himself into the ground. It was crazy.
that one roll where he fell over and then he went
No,
like and just
I was like, sir, are you okay?
interpretive dance.
Oh my God,
Oh
yeah.
my God, so
Yeah, if you
funny.
squint and turn your head to the side. At one point the crowd starts chanting boring. I mean, and it kind of was. I
It
mean, I just
was.
think the
I'm
chemistry
sorry.
between these three was just like not it. Like,
Bad news.
hmm
Bad news. I'm sorry. And like, I don't know. I just mm.
yeah. So at one point Hunter has the Patriot in the setup for the pedigree when Savio Vega comes through, attempts a spinning heel kick, knocks out the referee instead.
Of
Uh,
course.
of course. And then of course Shawn Michaels comes out onto the ring apron. And essentially we have like a meeting of the minds between Savio and the Patriot with the help of Shawn Michaels.
Hmm.
And that allows Triple H to pick up the victory, and the Boricuas come down. Vader comes down. China runs out of the ring and grabs 800 chairs, arms Hunter
With
and
arms
Shawn,
wide open.
literally, arms them with chairs, and then the hearts come down, and then that's the end of the episode. So basically, we were just left. So the thing that gagged me was like, no, I want to see the siege. I want to see. I want to see this play out. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Like,
like yeah, I'm telling you, all the pieces, everyone was coming together like this,
no,
like
fully,
the Jets and the
and the
whatevers. I
sharks.
can't, the Sharks. Thank you. And then it just cut out. It just ended.
When you're a jet, you're
And
a
yeah,
jet.
Jet. That's my dad's like favorite song, by the way. Um,
Love that.
and I just like I'm like I hope they give us the update on the here's what you missed on Glee in the next episode. Like sometimes we'll be like, here's what you missed when the cameras
Right.
cut. Blah, blah, blah. Like hope they do that.
Yeah, and it just ends with like them swatting their assailants like with chairs, and like that's
Yeah.
it.
They're guarding the Fort Ticonderoga with the chairs and then the everyone's trying to get in.
Right.
Like,
And
but
I
we
was
didn't
just like,
see
but I wanted to see it.
like we saw the reinforcements arriving,
Right,
but we didn't see
right.
what they made with it. What they
No,
did. Did
we
they
watched
bring
everybody.
ammunition? Did they
Right,
bring rations? Like what was the tea?
we like watched them like roll up to Helm's Deep, but like we didn't see the guy like
Oh,
shoot the one orc by accident, you know? Like,
and the fight kickoff. Like
right.
everyone's oh God, what a great analogy.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. But yeah,
And
so I'm excited for Bad Blood very much.
oh, same. I'm turned for Bad Blood
I
already.
honestly am a little confused as to why we know more matches for Bad Blood than we do One Night Stand. Or not, is that what it's
One
called?
night only.
One Night
Or
Only.
is it one night only or one night stand? Because
One
I
Night,
keep thinking
no.
one night only like Dreamgirls. One night.
No, One Night Stand is the ECW revival pay-per-view that they do
Oh,
in 2005. So not One Night Stand, One Night Only.
one night
Um,
only. It is like
what?
the Dreamgirls song.
It is. One Night Only.
Oh, so good.
But this has been another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, commenting, all of those good things. For Kelsey, I'm Xavier. We will catch you next time.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.